This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather Ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, March the 8th, is a Boston Red Sox icon who played his entire 16-year career with the Red Sox. He's an 8-time All-Star, won an MVP, and was pretty much a fantastic player. He was part of one of the best outfields around with Fred Lynn and Dwight Evans. He was a power-hitting left fielder, kind of like Ted Williams and Carl Yastrzemski, and also played his entire career with the Red Sox. He actually holds Red Sox records for homers, hits, RBIs, and total bases by a right-handed batter. And he's 7th in AL history for games in left field with 1,503. He's now 71 years old. His name is Jim Rice. Jim Rice was born in Anderson, South Carolina, and looked pretty good. Boston picked him up in the MLB draft and figured they needed to help him out. He helped Pawtucket, the Boston International League / AAA affiliate, win the Junior World Series against Tulsa. It was named the AAA's Rookie of the Year, MVP, and Triple Crown winner in 1974, leading the league in batting average, home runs, and RBIs. The AAA, not Boston. The Red Sox decided to bring him and Fred Lynn up. They were the Gold Dust Twins for the Red Sox. So he was promoted in the Red Sox organization to be a full-time player by 1975. And he did quite well. He was second in Rookie of the Year honors, ironically behind Fred Lynn, and third in MVP voting, after he finished with 174 hits, 102 RBIs, and 22 round trippers, with a 309 average. So yeah, so it was weird how Rice was done so well for second place in the Rookie of the Year and third in MVP, and yet he lost both of them to his own teammate, Fred Lynn, nevertheless. The Red Sox were the AL East champion, meaning that they would be going to the LCS against Oakland, and they swept the 3-time defending World Series champions. However, Rice did not play in the LCS or World Series because of a wrist injury. Imagine what would have happened if Rice was actually healthy during the World Series. Because sadly, the Red Sox did lose that World Series in 7. So anyway, Rice in 1977 led the AL in home runs for 39, and his total bases were pretty good. The most in 39 years, 382. However, that was a precursor, if you will, to 1978 when he won the AL MVP award. In a campaign, he batted .315, had 46 home runs on 139 RBIs, 213 hits, 15 triples, and 406 total bases. The first person since Joe DiMaggio to have 400 total bases in 1937. Total bases is when you get singles, doubles, home runs, and triples and all that. Like you take a base, like singles like 1 base, and then double 2, 3, 4. It all adds up. And he was the first major leaguer since Hank Aaron in 1959 to get 400 total bases. It was not touched till 1997 when Larry Walker put up 409. No AL player has done it since Rice in 1978, not even the great Derek Jeter or A-Rod. Unfortunately for Rice, he did not win the Triple Crown. He led in home runs and RBIs, but his batting average was third in the league. In 1979, he was second in AL in home runs, which wasn't that bad. And he took second in RBIs and hits, and led the league in total bases for the 3rd time. Rice looked pretty decent and all that. In 1983, he led the AL in home runs and RBIs again, and it looked pretty good for him. Rice would continue on with the Red Sox, and in 1986, when the Red Sox went to the World Series, he put up 200 hits, batting .324 with 110 RBIs. This time, Rice was healthy enough to play in the postseason, and he did. He played in the ALCS against the Angels and the World Series against those Mets, collecting 14 hits in the postseason with 2 home runs, driving in 6. Rice scored 14 runs across the plate 14 times. That is actually 5th most in a single year postseason play ever, still. Unfortunately for Rice, the Red Sox would lose the World Series to the Mets in Game 7. So Rice, in his career, led the AL in home runs 3 times, 77, 78, 83, RBI twice in 78, 83, and total bases 4 times, 77, 78, 79, 83. He was a 2-time Silver Slugger Award in 1983 and 1984. He could have won more, but the award was only created in 1980. He won the MVP in 1978. Well, why wouldn't he? Finishing in the top 5 in MVP voting 5 other times, 75, 77, 79, 83, and 86. His 16-year career was good. He batted just under 300 as a player, with 382 round trippers and 1,451 RBIs. Rice is the only player in history, AL or NL, to lead the league in home runs, RBIs, and triples in the same year. That's pretty impressive to get a league in home runs and then triples. And he's also the only player in MLB history to get 200 plus home hits while hitting 39 plus home runs for 3 straight years. Not even Jeter did that, or A-Rod. So anyway, Jim Rice was pretty impressive and all of that. He was an accomplished left fielder. Now, a lot of you will probably say, hang on, wasn't Yastrzemski still a Boston Red Sox when Jim Rice was playing left field? That's true. Yastrzemski was still a Red Sox. However, they switched Yaz from left to first base. So Yaz was the first baseman. And all that. Bet you didn't know that. Rice had his number 14 retired by the Red Sox in July of 2009. But one of the most famous moments in Jim Rice's career happened August 7th, 1982, when a line drive off the bat of Dave Stapleton struck a 4-year-old boy by the name of Jonathan Keene. Rice actually left the dugout and entered the stands to help the boy, who was bleeding heavily. Rice carried the boy onto the field, through the Red Sox dugout and into the clubhouse, and the young boy was immediately treated by the medical staff. Rice's response saved Keene's life, likely because paramedics would not have arrived in time. Rice would pay the hospital bill and Keene would make a full recovery from the injury. So that's just amazing and all that. So anyway, Jim Rice was actually made the Red Sox hitting coach by 1997 and had 2 Red Sox players win batting titles under his tutelage. Since 2003, he's part of NESN, or New England Sports Network, when he contributes to the Red Sox pregame and postgame shows. He had a cameo in Fever Pitch. I can't remember what part of Fever Pitch he was in. But yeah, it was just amazing and all that. Anyway, the big story was, of course, Jim Rice not getting into the Hall of Fame somehow. Well, Rice was one of the better hitters of his era. He was not elected till his 15th and final chance in 2009, getting 76% of the votes. You need 75% to get into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He looked pretty impressive and all that. He had 63% of the votes by 06 and 07. 08, his 14th attempt, he was 72%. He was just short. In fact, Rice became the 9th Baseball Hall of Famer to be inducted on his last chance on the normal ballot. Ralph Kiner was the last one to get his 15th and final chance and finally make it. Larry Walker, Edgar Martinez, and Tim Raines have been since enshrined after they appeared on the ballot for the last time. A lot of people said that the more current statistical analysis of player performance is why it was a long delay. A lot of people said that Rice's chances improved to get into the Hall of Fame by the exposure of the steroids era and all that. But yeah, a lot of people said sabermetrics and all that. So Rice thankfully it's in the Hall of Fame, and he is happy about it, I assume. Well, why wouldn't he be? But the fact of the matter is that Jim Rice is a Boston Red Sox icon. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.